A different side to health and wellness. Hi there, everyone. This is Real Talk with Julie, and we're going to get real in just a moment. But before that, they say you need a reset. They say you're too old to start over. They say that wellness comes with a price tag, but often they are wrong. This is Real Talk, and we are going to talk to some amazing people as we go along. And today, we definitely have one of those people with us. I have to admit, she's one of my favorite human beings. We are going to talk to Colleen Wynia in just a moment. She is a spiritual intuitive, and we have not had any energy like hers on this show up until now. So I cannot wait. Now, I don't have a big introduction for her because honestly, we could go on for days. We could just talk and talk and talk about all the wonderful, amazing things that she has done. Real Talk is all about people that have made a difference in their own life, in the life of their family, in the life of the community at large. And she has done all three. So, Colleen, welcome to the show.
Julie, I am honored to be here. I have known you for a little while, and as you mentioned earlier, we've seen each other along different paths and different journeys, and I'm celebrate this path that we are each on together and the collective, all of you who are listening. Hi, everybody. I'm Colleen, and I am here to be real with you, and I'm here to to create with you.
I love that. Colleen mentioned that we have known each other for a few years. I believe it is almost 10 years, if it's not 10 years. And I interviewed Colleen on a little talk show I had on Pocket Live, which was Vancouver's version of YouTube. And she was gracious enough to come out and have a conversation with me. And it was so awesome. So thank you so much for entertaining us again 10 years later. So I would love, as I said, this is about some of the things that we've done in health and wellness that has helped us, has helped our families, the community at large. And you are a spiritual intuitive, you are a grief counselor, you are a coach, you are all the things, which is a vastly, like I said, different energy, but so important. And I would love, if you will, for you to kind of, we were talking before we pressed record here about just trusting yourself and going with what you know you should do next. So I would love to kind of dig into that just a little bit. What was the first thing that you realized, hey, this is what I need to do and this is what I'm going to do?
Oh, wow. And you catch me off guard, which is great. We are in the flow, in the moment. Repeat the question for me again, love. You said to
The
the
first thing
first time.
that you realized that you just needed to intuitively go down a road, whether that was a career road or an energetic road. You've just held so many titles and so many different, and I know it's all one career. That's the interesting thing. Like myself, I started out in one lane and then I added another lane and added another lane. And then by the time you've added the fourth or fifth lane, the first one is kind of dropped off, but you're still in the flow of all those things. So just go for it.
100%, 100%. Trusting yourself is something that we're discovering and tapping into each and every day. We have the opportunity to do that. And to be honest, I had no idea really where I'm going. What I am doing day to day is asking my soul, asking my higher self, show me the way. And what I do is I listen through feeling, through signs, through resources and people like Julie popping into my life. I listen, I feel, like I said, and I get guided. So, to be honest, I don't know. It's not a pre-planned experience. So, back in the day, how I landed in health and wellness was through life experience. It was waking up as a young woman, and I noticed looking back, I would always go and put my hands on people. I would just go to their shoulders, people I know, of course, and who trusted me to a degree. But I was naturally touching and naturally holding spaces for those intimate conversations where people go, "Oh, I just opened up to you." Just realize that I'm doing that. I don't talk about that with other people, that type of thing. So I am self-taught when it comes to massage, never trained, and yet I've made a career, a big part of my life out of supporting people in the corporate world and individual, and combining all of the things. But when I didn't first know, I just followed each step. So as a younger girl coming out of high school, and all I knew was I couldn't go to university. I couldn't figure out how to financially do it at the time. So I was being guided to the workforce. I'm in the workforce and I'm going to become a lumber trader from, and I follow the pathway while I'm at the lumber job. It was sales and marketing, and I wrote my own job descriptions and I moved through the ladder. And then I find out my cousin and my dad, they both were diagnosed with cancer within a very short period of time. And that was another sign, right? So that my intuition was leaning into how can I help them reduce their situation with their wellness, their health. How could I maybe help them? So the heart, the interest opens up and you follow the lead. You follow where you're drawn to. And so I'm in the corporate world and I'm doing this. Then I find out my loved ones are not well. Then I can start opening up my mind to how could I help people feel better? Sadly, they both transitioned, and that was within 9 months of each other. 9 months. He was my best. He was like my brother, and my dad was my dad. Not getting into the details here, just that they were both cancer, and we knew nothing about it at the time. And so then what happens is there's two things going on that led me to be able to do these things that I've done all these years to support people. And what that is I'm sorry, I just got distracted. There was a notification that somehow interfered. It shouldn't have been here, but it was here. So it causes me to pause. So we listen to those signs. So I'm being caused to pause and come right back around. I want to make sure I answered Julie's question. I was then guided to not only see if I can save them, I couldn't because they chose a different pathway, but it opened up the wellness world, prevention world. Rather than intervention, I got interested in prevention. And then from there, also my heart is broken. Who here has lost a loved one? Whether that be someone who passed away close to you, a pet, your husband, your best friend, your a daughter, or you try to save them. This care part of us, we want to show people what we know. We're messengers. And anyways, my heart was ripped open. I was grieving, and then I started to have these experiences, Julie, where I felt their presence. So everybody, I bring in mediumship to my work as well as a spiritual coach and intuitive, because I was in an unknown place. So here we go again. What is trusting your intuition? It's following the sign when you don't know where you even are sometimes. You can set yourself up for success with your mind. But what I do is I help people really come from their mind and into their hearts, and merge the two beauties, because to me, the real brain is here in the heart. So when I'm getting all these crazy things happening, lights off and on, and I'm feeling sensations of loved ones, I could hear a voice of my dad after all these years. Um, I I was hurting, right? I was hurting. I was hurting a lot when my two besties transitioned. And so you got the grief and you got these signs and you got what's going on, what happens when you die, right? This is whole uh, bouquet of experiences going on at the same time. How do you dissect that? How do you work with that? How do you find harmony? And for me, it was just one big, craziness, but you find your people. And so I was guided to a community, and little did I know that not only was I getting healing in my heart, guess what happened? The grief of losing my loved ones, that was actually the deeper opening to my traumas, to the things that happened to me as a child and so forth. You know what I'm saying, Julie? So what's happening is you follow your intuition, and next thing you're just on a whole different path, but they all go together. Like they all go, all of to them are together. And so my pathway has always been about finding my own direction, and I teach and hold space for others to tap into their intuition that's always present. It's just we fear to trust ourselves. But I had no choice. I learned to work with the emotion and the grief, and I learned to what's going on with all the signs. I eventually found some people. I eventually, outside of my circle, I found some people that helped me, affirm that yeah, that's my dad. Yeah, that's my cousin. And I've done that for others over all the years, help them trust the signs of their body, emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually, and to honor each and every place that you go to. So it's been a ride, and I've been able to help people in my community, been able to help people all around the world, and I've been able to yeah, just really, that's what's moved me. That's what's kept me in this field.
Love that. And thank you for being real, honestly. I
Mm.
love that you said, I don't actually know where I'm going. I don't actually know. That is, we shouldn't know. I've often said as a coach myself that we should not set goals, we should set standards in our lives, and we
Mm.
should maybe be aiming towards something. But often when we set goals, we are so blind to anything else that's happening. We're going for that goal, especially if that's the type of mindset we have. And then we don't see all the beauty and all the amazing things that are happening on the peripheral. And I can never say that word. So yes, I agree 100% that if you are truly following your intuition, you just take it step by step, day by day. Now, one of the reasons that we are here today is because Colleen had reached out to me and she wanted to share something that lit her up. I believe you said it brought sparkle back into you, and I went, well, whatever's making this beautiful woman sparkle, I need to hear more about. So
Hmm.
I don't want to take a lot of time on this, but I do want to allow you to just share what it is, you know, in a very general sense that you're doing now. And I can put all the information for people to get a hold of you in the show notes so they can follow up with you if they're interested.
100%. Julie, exactly what you said. I sparkled. In a nutshell, the last 2 to 3 years of this midlife intuitive, I hit a time in my life where my body changed, my hormones changed, my nutrition, I needed different things. And I had a couple of things that were really difficult. And I'm tying this together with my new sparkle is I was looking for answers. I was looking for solutions. And two big things that were going on for me was anxiety, which can happen with women
Mhm.
in the change of life. And along with that, things had changed in my body from repeat neck injuries, car accidents, and I had a injury on my shoulder when I was out hiking from a year and a half ago that has been being treated all the normal ways, chiropractic, massage, cranial sacral, compression in the neck. So I ended up, I don't know if I told this to you at length or not, Julie, but I have this pressure all around my head and all here and all here. And debilitating, loves, debilitating. Try running your own business when you can't, when you're hurting, right? You know what I mean? If you've got to hurt. So around the same time, I had been working to make changes in my nutrition and in my apathy and all the things. I wasn't quite where I needed to be yet. I'd made some changes and I things came to me. Remember, trust your intuition. Resources started to show up the last year and a half, but it took forever. And I said, Julie, I don't want to spend the next 50 years. I plan to live over 100. And guys, I'm 57 and I've been able to hike mountains and keep the knees good. So I trusted a product for 19 years, the mangosteen juice. And the gentleman who brought that to the world, um, that product worked for many of us all around the world for years and years and years. These two gentlemen started a new company called Oleabo. Oleabo, olive tree derived products or olive tree derived extract. So, who here has heard of olive oil? All the hands go up, right? Everyone's heard something about it. It's good for you when you can get the top quality oils. Okay, but we're not talking about just olive oil here. What I got exposed to was over the moon. This is a remarkable, like, I've never stood and spoke this strongly about anything. This is probably my first podcast to mention it because I've been talking to it people personally. Imagine a functional food, a whole food that extracts from the 6,000-year-old olive tree. Olive has been around for a very long time, the olive tree. It stands the difficulties of storms of times, and it's resilient and it's powerful. And did you know, Julie, that we have 46 chromosomes and the olive tree has 46 chromosomes?
I did not.
There is some beautiful, yeah, I'd be happy to share this wonderful young lady was talking all about the olive tree, and I was fascinated when I was learning this. So what we've done is we put together, let me back up here. So Colleen is in pain. Colleen has reached that time in her life. Her muscles are, a little bit changing. The compression from all the car accidents on the one vertebrae is like, it's no good anymore. I'm hurting, 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 hurting. Nothing was working yet. 1.5 years. Shoot me, Julie. Take me out. Real talk, remember? But I did. I was honest. I said, I don't want to do this. I want to live at the river. So timing is everything. Remember? Trust the timing. Trust you're going to be supported, everybody. Trust there's a solution. Trust healing will come along. I was so excited. What came along was a phone call from a friend who's known me for years. Colleen, did you know? Did you hear? Joe and Gordon Morton are bringing a new company to the world. It's not even out yet. I looked at it. I am amazed, Julie. Basically, in a nutshell, I'll just speak on our first product. Would that be good? Just our quick synopsis on the core product?
Sure. Or we can even just put it in the show notes so that people could look at it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what we will do that is I will say this. I took this product within 4 days, my shoulder started to feel better. 1.5 years, done all the things. 3 weeks into the product every single day, this has calmed down. Not 100% gone because remember, my ergonomics and what situation is still the thing, but I feel like I'm WD-40'd. My vision's got a little bit better. Eyesights are a bit better. This is better. My toenails were looking healthier. So that was telling me something about my insides. And the list is long. And what it is to wrap this up is imagine one product taken every day, 4 beautiful little capsules, and it contains not only a really high version of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, the best of the best money can buy, It includes the leaf, it includes the fruit. The fruit is the nutrition, the leaf is the protection, GI tract, cardiovascular, brain health, and inflammation lowering. Those are the main things. I've never seen anything that's like that. So trusting my intuition, next thing you know, spirit says to me, well, Colleen, you've helped people for all of these years in their physical and their mental and their emotional, their spiritual. And you're now also helping them back full circle back around with a nutritional option that helps them feel alive again.
I love that. And I love that you feel WD-40. That's probably my mic drop line of this podcast. I love that. And guys, just think about it. Our bodies are nutrient deficient. They are almost all of us, I would argue, are nutrient deficient because we aren't really eating food these days. Most people are eating things that only the grocery stores call food. I don't think they would be called that if you looked up what they were made of. So I love that, and we will absolutely put that in the show notes so they can reach out to you and find out more information. So whatever you can send me, I'll put that in there. I am super grateful for your time today. And as I mentioned to people, this is health and wellness in a different way. This is, support and grief and Colleen has been such a support and amazing part of so many people's lives. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. Now, if any of you that have been listening are thinking, well, I have a story to tell, please reach out, juliebrooks.life. You can reach out directly to me. I would love to have a conversation with you and possibly get you on the podcast as well. And Colleen, would you come back another day and we'll dig deeper into one of these 25 different places you've gone?
Of course, I would be honored. And I thank you today for holding this space for all of us to be open to helping ourselves awaken a little bit more to our soul path. It's been an honor. Thank you, my love. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you guys so much. This is Julie Brooks, juliebrooks.life, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great time.